Hey Parker, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? That looks like you're in a very exciting room back there.
In my office space. I love it. I love
Awesome.
it.
So cool.
I've got your other film over here somewhere.
Nice.
Um, Smile 2, so unnerving and such a confronting experience. I loved it. Well done on it. And it sounds like a cliche, but the people next to me actually lost their popcorn watching this movie.
I
So,
love it. That's awesome. Thank you.
did you, when you made your original short film, did you have ambitions and intentions of it becoming a franchise then?
Oh, I mean, never in a million years would I have like anticipated what could have happened with it. I was just trying to make with that first short, Laura Hasn't Slept, something small and contained that would spook audiences and sort of give them this like really fun sort of uh, quick experience. And while I was in post on that film, cutting it together, which trying to do in my free time and all that kind of stuff, the this idea started sort of nagging at my brain that there was something really just intriguing at its core concept, and so I sort of chased that, and that eventually became the first Smile. But as far as like franchise ambitions, no, I would have never been so audacious as to think that would have happened.
You've certainly you've created a good space for yourself to move forward. Like, do you have the future mapped out?
Well, right now, I mean, I'm excited to see how people respond to Smile 2. I think
Yeah,
there's a ton of really exciting directions to go, but I'd want to make sure that we keep doing things. If there is more Smile to tell that people sort of don't see coming, I feel like that feels really exciting to me.
100%, and that's what you've nailed really well in this second one. It is not the same movie as the first one. In fact, the whole like pop music concert kind of backdrop to this gave it a real Jello kind of feel. Well, that's what I took from it.
Love
Um,
Jeff.
did you have any points of reference from other films when you were creating the atmosphere for this one?
I mean, certainly, I think, I wanted to continue the creeping sense of dread and that was in the first one. I wanted that to continue right away into the second one. But of course, like you said, it is its own sort of it has its own identity, kind of its own
Mm,
metabolism in
yeah.
comparison to the first film. And I was looking at, I mean, I'm sort of, I wear all my inspirations on my sleeves. I'm sort of constantly chasing Kubrick. I love Giallo. I love Japanese horror. When you talk about, guys like, like Kiyoshi Kurosawa and like the level of like atmosphere and dread that he builds into his films, like Cure and Pulse. And but like visually, I mean, our what I always want to do is like not reference anything that's horror related. I want
Hmm.
this world to feel so unusual for a horror film that it should feel like fun, exciting, poppy, glammy, glitzy, and yet Smile sort of invades it and turns it into this very cold, frigid, freaky world.
You 100% nailed that. Absolutely, without a doubt. And Naomi Scott is phenomenal. I reckon this is one of the best performances of the year, regardless of genre. I just think it's exceptional. Did
I
you have her in mind from the outset? And how did you get such an emotional range out of her?
So when I first met Naomi, it was funny. We met for like what was supposed to be like a 30-minute coffee, and then like 2.5 hours later, realized like, oh wow, there's like a real like creative kinship here.
Hmm.
And Naomi was just like the absolute perfect storm for this character. I mean, I instantly believe her as this, she has this gravitas of a
Hmm.
star that I just inherently believe. And she really understood what it was to take that on. But she was so excited to sort of like, lock arms with me and jump off the deep end into this like insanity, this really raw, human, melodramatic performance.
Hmm.
And I think that we were in constant dialogue. We really felt like partners in crime, I think, on developing this character. And then when you take into account the fact that Naomi's this amazing singer, she sings all of the original songs in the film, and then she's actually performing that choreography, which she had to do all of that
Yeah.
while also being in this incredibly intense horror film where she's in every scene. I agree with you. I think it's an absolute bravura performance, and I'm so excited for people to see it.
Yes, absolutely. She had obviously such a great script to work off too, because I find that with all of your characters, they're so well rounded, and like there's a connection I had with nearly all of them, particularly the relationship with the two girls. I'm like, you know, this feels almost documentary, like we're looking in on the live. So you've given them a really good template to work off, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, I try to make sure that all the characters really feel wholly rounded, and all my characters are sort of different versions of me. I think sort of put through the lens.
I was going to say you must relate to Sky because of all these, junkets and jet setting and globe trotting that you're doing. Like, are you starting to feel a bit batty?
It might have been swirling in my brain a bit. I mean, I certainly am not under the same pressures that Sky is. But,
Yeah. Do you find that it's difficult to keep up with the law, and are you always careful not to break your own rules and things like that because it is such an intricate kind of law that you've made?
yeah, I like lore in small doses. I like
Hmm.
using mysteries and sort of creating enigmas. I think sometimes if you over explain or overindulge the lore, it can defang it.
Yeah,
So I want to make sure that what we're doing is that I'm always trying I mean, I love horror as metaphor, and
yeah.
I tell these character stories, and I love taking this character's internal psychology and sort of smashing it against this like external supernatural thing and sort of
Hmm.
colliding them until they're sort of indistinguishable from one another. And the lore is sort of there to be this wonderful catnip that we keep chasing. But anytime I sort of answer a question or close one door, I want to open two more and sort of be like, well, wait, now what does that mean?
Yeah,
That feels really fun to me to keep it very slippery, but still sort of making sure like I have a lot of thoughts about it that I keep out of the films, but it helps me sort of shape it.
yeah.
But yeah, I think there's a lot of really exciting directions to go with that as well.
100%. Final question for you. It must have been surreal shooting on the Drew Barrymore show set. Can you talk about that? How hard was she to wrangle?
Drew was amazing. I wanted to make sure again, I love this idea that we're blurring the lines between fiction and reality and sort of creating this pop star that feels like she could really exist in our world. And I knew when I was going to introduce her, I wanted to introduce her on a real talk show. And so I wrote the scene and sent it to Drew along with like a letter. And she was so gracious and responded right away and said, absolutely, she was super excited to be part of it. And her and her team invited us into their studio set, and she was a dream to work with. And for me, I mean, Drew's an icon, she's a legend.
Hmm.
Such a huge fan, have been forever. So it felt really special to get to do that.
Fantastic. Well, mate, I love the film and I hope everyone else does too. And I look forward to more of them. So thanks so much for having a chat with me.
Absolutely, thank you so much. Lovely to meet you.
Might be a tragedy, devastation right in front of me. Am I a future disaster just waiting to happen? Like blood and white. Hello?
Sky! What? No, no! No, get away from me!
What? What is it?
Get away from me!
Louis?
Something really crazy is happening to me. I keep seeing this face everywhere.
You witnessed a death. Now it's latched onto you.
Stop smiling at me!
That's a pretty cool shirt you got. Want me to sign it?